truly appreciate the support that you give, not only to our program in general, but to your children as you encourage them to practice, as you get them here to practice on Saturday mornings, and just throughout their growing years to really support what they do musically, because it really is a very special thing. You'll notice that the program notes are not in the program. We are going to be having those read before each one of our songs this evening by our students. Please enjoy the concert.
In Greek, the word agon, which is the root word for agony, refers to a competition for a prize in athletics or artistic competition at the ancient Greek games. In any kind of contest in life, whether it is physical, mental, or musical, it is considered an agon, which is deserving of hard work, dedication, and discipline. James Kernau's composition, Agon, presents a competition for musical dominance between the three major voices of the band, woodwinds, brass, and percussion. It is a musical competition of excellence in all things musically challenging. It requires all performers to challenge themselves to excel in areas of musical expertise, including style, dynamics, articulation, technical dexterity, and the highest expressive qualities possible. The music is exciting and challenging, forceful and relentless in its pursuit of the final goal to bring home the gold. Ye Branks and Braes o' Bonnie Doon is among Percy Granger's many folk song settings. He first set it for chorus and whistlers in 1903 and created the band setting in 1932.
The folk song comes from Scotland. The melody first appeared in print in a collection of songs published in 1788. In 1792, it was paired with a poem by Robert Burns, The Banks of Doon, and this pairing has been handed down through the generations. The poem describes a love story around the River Doon, which flows through Scotland.
Silverbrook was commissioned by the Silverbrook Middle School Bands in West Bend, Wisconsin. It was premiered by the Silverbrook Bands in 2006 with the composer conducting. Silverbrook was designed to feature a variety of styles and emotions while exploring different orchestrational combinations with the context of the young concert band. The opening segment combines muted trumpets and xylophone on a rhythmic drone, out of which evolve a series of mysterious chords in the clarinets and low brass. Rhythmic vitality and drive are provided by the percussion section, with the brass and woodwinds also contributing pulsating figures at times.
Good evening, and it is a pleasure to be with you with your children up on stage. This is really the exciting part of the concert, but I might be a little bit biased in that regard. The great adventure of these beginning musicians begins tonight, and they have done a remarkable job learning some very beginning songs and more. We're a little out of order from the program. We're going to begin with Jingle Bells by J.S. Pierpont. A number of years ago, by the way, for those of you who have high school students in the band now, I know you hear Jingle Bells every year, but once upon a time, that was like the crowning pinnacle of cadet band music. And in the last number of years, I think our students have come in and have really excelled and pushed themselves, or else I've pushed them, or I've just thought, let's do more than Jingle Bells. It's a difficult song. So anyway, even though you hear it over and over again, that's really a complicated piece of music, and they do a fabulous job with it. The next piece that we're doing that really requires a lot of careful listening, because we're divided in many parts here too, it's the Jolly Old Cadet Nicholas. Now I know that's not the real title of the piece. It's just that the arrangement is mostly out of their Standard of Excellence book, but it was only 8 measures long, and since they could play 24 measures on the last song, I thought we could get close to that on the next. So I just added more measures. So here's 22 measures of Jolly Old St. Nicholas a la cadet band music. Yeah, the only thing I haven't taught them about that piece is the lyrics on the last two measures, shave and a haircut, 2 bits. But we'll add that to our musical education as we get into the next semester. I hope you're enjoying what the concert winds and the cadet bands have done so far. Concert winds, nice job. Silverbrook, we've worked hard on that in lessons, and it really paid off tonight. Super job. I want to just advocate for not just the students, but you parents. It was a few years ago, more than I'll admit to right now, that I had students in the grade school and then the high school band here. And being younger and excited for my children being in the band, I sometimes kind of wondered, boy, what it would be like if I were in a band. Now, I had been in band when I was in school, and then for a long time not. Some of you who know me know that I'm kind of fully immersed in it now. And any of you can be fully immersed in band. I asked Mr. Norrie if I could just do a quick little advertisement, not just for an organization that I'm in, but for an opportunity for you adults, whether adults with children in the band or grandchildren in the band. I'm the director of the New Horizons Band Fox Valley here in the Appleton area. New Horizons Music is an international organization that has bands all across, and orchestras all across the country, including in Canada, in Europe, and in Australia. Started by Roy Ernst in the Eastman School of Music. He said, anyone, adults included, should have the opportunity to learn to play an instrument and to perform in a band if possible. And that's what New Horizons does. Now, this is an organization for some of you who I haven't seen my instrument in 25 years, Mr. Cromer. New Horizons is for you. And for those of you, I wish I would have taken band or orchestra in school, but I just never did. This organization is for you. So if you're interested in New Horizons and joining your children or grandchildren, playing along beside them, or just having your own concerts and enjoying, New Horizons is an opportunity for adults to do what these students are doing. Let's finish with the high point. Years ago, I wouldn't have guessed we would do a piece like this. Not that it's terribly difficult, but there's one aspect that's really, really critical. Besides good tone quality, balance, so that we hear the right instruments and not too many of other instruments. Sometimes that's difficult to do because of the number of instruments you have in a section. And so these students have worked really hard to make sure the instruments that should be heard at the right time are heard at the right time. So, high adventure. just like to express, there we go. I'd like to express my appreciation to, you might have seen students who are a little taller than the normal 5th and 6th grader. I really appreciate that. Laura Esselman in the flute, and Isaiah in the violin, Bryn on euphonium, Adam and Dieter on trumpet, Brittany and Caitlin back in the percussion section. I'll tell you, for high school students to come on a Saturday morning and it's really not even their band, I am most impressed with their dedication to being leaders and models for the kids. So a nice round of applause for my high school volunteers. Thanks, you guys.
Before we get started with symphonic band, how about just another round of applause for our concert winds and our cadet band? Hearing right notes and right rhythms is one thing, but Mr. Cromer and cadet band, hearing balance and blend and dynamics, and I know they've been working on playing softer. That was really terrific. Nice job. After the concert, some of our schools are going to be taking pictures of their students in their concert uniforms. And I know Mount Olive for sure, and there's probably some other schools that are going to do the same thing. So when we're done with the symphonic band, we're just going to hold the grade school students here for those group pictures. And grandparents, parents, this is also a good opportunity. Once those group pictures are done, if you want to have a picture of your son or daughter in uniform, that'd be great. Okay?
British Isles Suite was commissioned by the Wisconsin Youth Band Directors Association and received its premiere performance on September 18, 1999 by the Wisconsin Youth Band Directors Association Honor Band. It is a three-movement suite based entirely on folk music sources. Dane's choice of folk songs provide continuity and contrast within each movement and to the overall structure of the work. Movement 1, Marching Song. This is a martial movement based on two Welsh folk songs. The first is Britone's Raise Your Banners High, which is found in the 1906 collection Minstrelsy of Wales. The second song is the March for the Men of Harlech, which is written in about 1468 to celebrate the Welsh defense of the Harlech Castle during the War of Roses.
This movement is based on the traditional air claimed by England, Ireland, and Scotland. The words for this traditional air first appeared in 1765 in Relics of Ancient English Poetry. The ballad tells the story of a woman indifferent to the love of Johnny Grove, who dies of longing for her. She is then filled with remorse and dies herself.
This movement is based on two dance-like minstrel tunes. The first is Adieu Dundee. This song originates in the 15th century and was reprinted in Ancient Scottish Melodies from a manuscript of the reign of King James VI. The second is the well-known ballad Auld Lang Syne, undoubtedly Scotland's most famous song. The familiar words were set to a very old Scottish dance dating back to 1711.
Frank Kelly says of his composition, I wanted my setting of Amazing Grace to reflect the powerful simplicity of the words and that melody, to be sincere, to be direct and to be honest, and not through the use of novel harmonies and clever tricks. But by traveling traditional paths in search of truth and authenticity. But I believe that music has the power to take us to a place that words alone cannot. And so my own feelings about Amazing Grace reside on the setting itself. The harmony and texture or orchestration and form are inseparable, intertwined, so as to be perceived as a single expressive entity. The spiritual Amazing Grace was written by John Newton, a slave ship captain who, after years of transporting slaves across the Atlantic Ocean to the New World, suddenly saw through divine grace the evilness of his acts. The first published in 1835 by William Walker in the Southern Harmony, Amazing Grace has since grown to become one of the most beloved of all American spiritualists.
Blue and Green Music is based on artist Georgia O'Keeffe's 1921 painting of the same name. An image of that painting is provided in the program. The song was commissioned by the Patrick Marsh Band of Sun Prairie, Wisconsin. O'Keeffe is a celebrated native of Sun Prairie, Wisconsin, where Patrick Marsh is located. Hazel was intrigued by the suggestion of basing a piece on Georgia O'Keeffe, so he began to research her life and works. He came across the painting Blue and Green Music. As O'Keeffe explained, it is painted upon the idea that music could be translated into something for the eye. Hazel's task would be to translate it back into something for the ear. The entire piece is based on one theme that is varied into numerous alternate treatments. Although the composer tried to make certain parts of the music tie to specific aspects in the painting, he did not want the observer/listener to be influenced by his decisions. The original Georgia O'Keeffe painting, Blue and Green Music, is currently on display at the Art Institute of Chicago, where it has been since she gave it to them in 1969.
Celtic ritual reflects the unique composite of sadness and humor in the Celtic culture, forged by 1,000 years of fighting for freedom. It was inspired by the dark beauty of Celtic mythology, which at its core concerns a legendary race of superhuman warriors now hidden behind the misty space of the centuries. Also gifted in music, dance, and poetry, the warriors are emblematic of the strange mixture of mystery and power in Celtic literature and arts.
Once again, if there are parents or school representatives who want to take pictures of the kids in groups first, let's please do that. And then after that, individual pictures you could take. And then when that's all done, kids are going to be going back to the band room and choir room to turn in your vests. Thanks again, everybody.